Hi there again, it's Mr. Miller here, of course, and we have a special guest, Mrs. Osborne, one of our kindergarten teachers.
Hi, everyone.
And you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday at my house. Think big. Mrs. Osborne and I were talking about something else yesterday, and she gave me the idea of how to think bigger than I was. So, in terms of showing their work, is there different ways to do that in terms of thinking bigger about it?
Yes, I think it's really important to be thinking about how you can do lots of different ways to show your work. So sometimes it's getting on Canvas or ST Math or Epic Books, but sometimes we don't always have those options. Maybe your internet's not working, or maybe your computer's not working. I had a family that told me that they didn't have internet for that day, but they decided to do something where they were thinking big and doing something in a different way. So they did some work that we had sent home in their folder, and the family helped take pictures of what they did, and they sent it to me. And so I was able to count them as participating for that day just because that they did some extra work in a different way. They were thinking outside the box, thinking big in a different way.
Yes, and so that's such a great point to make. There's not only one way to do something, even when we're solving other kinds of problems. For example, if someone's bothering you either at home or at school, there's many options thinking bigger about it to solve that problem. For example, if it's a smaller problem, you can ignore them potentially. If it's kind of a medium problem, you might want to walk away, and then a little bit bigger problem, you could get help. And sometimes you could think outside the box of a different way to say something back to them that would help them stop whatever they're doing so it gets solved quicker.
I know in kindergarten, we've been talking about, those are called distractions. They've been talking about it with Miss Moulton. And we have distractions at school, but we also have them at home when you're working. So it's really important to think about how you can solve the problem if you have some distractions at home too. Thinking big again, and what could you do differently?
And you know, I was thinking about this too a little bit more is, what if a student said to you, like you were on the computer with them, for example, like virtually, and they said, well, I don't really have anything to write with, or I don't have the right paper that you said I should use. Thinking outside the box bigger, what would you say to that student?
Yeah, we have that happen sometimes. Sometimes you can't find the things that we need and the things we sent home. So there are lots of different ways to solve that problem. If you can't find a whiteboard, maybe you can find some paper. Sometimes people have gone and asked a big brother or big sister to see if they have some extra material that they can use. Finding crayons, finding markers, anything they can use to show their work, because that's what the teacher is looking for, is to show their work that they're doing. So.
Beautiful explanation, as always. So again, I want you to really think about this with your own family. Here's your community prompt for this week. How do you and your family members think bigger about situations that you need to solve? Bigger is what we're talking about today, okay? And Mrs. Osborne was able to help me get you to understand what we're talking about today. And guess what? I know you're going to think bigger and dream big. Building big dreamers and high achievers, right?
Dream big.
Yes. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.